Three, two, one. What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. I'm your host, 34, and tonight we have a very special guest. Zenaida is in the building. How you doing tonight,
Yes. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you for stopping by. Definitely appreciate you making time for this. I know we've tried to do this a lot in the past, but we finally got it in. And yeah, I mean, I know this might be super heavy to talk about first thing off the bat, but
Right.
I know today is a special day for you, I
Yes.
believe. And
Yes.
you had requested us today. Can you tell me or tell me and the audience why today is so special?
Today is special because it is my mother's 14th anniversary of her passing. And I think that it's a significant day because it was like a rebirth for me. And I think that with that rebirth, she's been with me every step of the way. So why not do an interview in dedication to her?
For sure. Shout out to moms. And I think she's definitely with you today, if not more importantly. So hopefully, she flows through you a little bit in this interview.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, for the folks out there who are unfamiliar with the flow of the show, we typically do some warm-up questions to start off. After that, we'll jump into an icebreaker. After the icebreaker, we'll turn to the wheel of fate, where we'll spin the wheel, whichever number it lands on. That's how the conversation will flow. And then after all of that, we'll finish out with some closeout questions. Sound good to you, Z?
Yes, it does.
All right. So before all that, I do
Sorry,
just
her baby want to say hi.
no,
Just so you know.
it's all good. What's up, Nina? How you doing?
She just wanted to say
Hi, Nina. We miss you. I haven't seen you since like 3 months, so
hi.
good to see you out there. You couldn't have brought her to. You think it would have been too stressful to bring her to the tournament that day?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, I got you. I got you.
Who's gonna watch her?
Yeah, maybe next year. Maybe next year. All right. Well, before we jump into the interview, Z, I just want to ask you, how you doing? You've been doing well. You've been doing great. How you been so far? Lately?
um, to be honest, I want to tell myself I'm doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
But in all actuality, it's been an emotional roller coaster.
Mm.
Strong gets weak, but just continuing to have to think positive, understand that um, you kind of been through where you were at before. And so it's just understanding that this too shall pass. However, in whatever direction, that
Nah,
whole
nah, I got you. Life for me has always been like a up and down thing. So like, if you're if you're feeling like you're more at the lower part, lessons are on the way for sure.
I'm
But
in the middle. I'm in the
yeah,
middle. I have my days. I have my
it balances out. I know.
days.
But for sure, I got you. And then let's jump into the warm up.
Let's do
My first question for you in the warm up is, what would you like the audience to know about you?
I think I say this all the time. I'm really one of the sweetest people you can ever meet. I have a RBF, and so once you get me talking, or once I crack a smile, you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, she cool. I look really, really mean, but I'm really, really super nice. So I think that that's definitely one thing people should definitely know. I'm also a go getter. Put me in any room, put me in front of anybody. I'll make sure to network and figure out how we all could collectively achieve the same thing, if that makes sense.
No, for sure. And as far as having an RBF, I feel like I've been told that too, even though I never really think about that about myself. But
Right.
like, either I'm just super deep in thought, or I'm not like paying attention to other things. So I'm just like looking straight forward with like it's just like looking like that. But for you, how did you find that out? Did a friend tell you, or you had to learn about the hard way? But
A little bit of both. People would always like, why are you so mad? You need to fix that. Like, why are you mugging and this and that? And it's just, I was talking to my sister because she said she had that issue too. And she was like, Zenaida, blood, like, we just gotta we don't it don't matter if you got to go out your way to smile a little more, not look so mean. And then too, we fail to realize our facial expressions, and so once I became more aware, it's just I'll catch myself.
I don't think I'm ever really aware of my facial expressions. I don't know if you ever see me in our team meetings or just like in general at work. But people tell me that like, why do you react that way? I'm like, I didn't react in any particular way, but I do make faces every now and then. And for me, it was actually a stranger. I was like at the pier one day with my parents, and like, my parents kind of annoyed me. So I was walking around like I was mad. And then what's it called? One of the certain workers at the shake place was like, with a Jamaican accent, I think he was Jamaican, but he's like, why are you so mad? Like, you gotta smile more and you gotta, be appreciative of life. And I'm like, dude, you don't know what's happening right now. Like, why are you?
but the bright side to look, like when people tell me that, it's like it gives you a moment to kind of just take in, like, okay, yeah, shit ain't right now, but like, like I think we take for granted we got a lot more to be thankful for.
No, for sure. I think in the moments when I'm like either super mad, super sad, is when I really need to focus more on, the positive and what it is that I do have, and instead of what I don't have. But it's tough. Especially when everybody's kind of flaunting how good they got it. It's like, damn,
Yeah. That's all I be saying.
Yeah, I know, but it's tough. Social media is like everyone's highlight reel, and that's all we really see. But I think if we can talk to people, like we talking today, like we'll find a lot more common ground.
That's one thing about social media, though. Like, people live up to the expectation and just always happen to post these highlights, these moments, which is great. But we never know what's happening behind the scenes. And then in all actuality, it's just like, people could be fronting, like, it's people that been exposed and stuff like that. And it's like, if and when you do share the ugly, or if and when you do become making yourself vulnerable on social media, you get talked about or you get judged, and it's just like a catch-22. Like, y'all be like, oh, don't believe everything you see on social media, but the minute we try to show y'all the stuff that y'all can believe, like this, the good, the bad, and the ugly, it don't always work in your favor sometimes.
No, for sure. I definitely had that phase on social media when I would just even put the bad stuff out there, right? And I felt like people people don't really, like, I guess, fuck with my shit on social like that, like, the commenting, the likes, the sharing and stuff, right? But when I post something that's like really real, or maybe a low moment in my life, they still don't do all that stuff, but they will comment on it, like, yo, why are you posting this? Or like, you don't got to put it out that like that. And I'm like, damn, I'm just trying to express myself in the truest form, and now you're telling me I can't even do that. So it is interesting how that whole dynamic works. They want us to be open, but only open about the good stuff. And I don't think that's the best thing to do with our society right now. But I got you. And my second question for you in the warm-up is, if I were to do something in your honor, a way to express the energy you possess, what sort of act could I do?
So when you say what sort of act, is this an act of kindness? Is this an act of what is the caliber?
I got you. I mean, it could be an act of kindness. The examples I've gotten before was like, maybe you could visit the beach, because I love the beach. Maybe you can, post my favorite quote, because I love quotes. So yeah, in that kind of realm, what sort of act could I do for you?
It's like a two-way street. I mean, not a two-way street, but like a two-part instance.
For sure.
One, definitely do something that is going to be for you. I think oftentimes we're so busy trying to show up for other people that we forget to show up for ourselves. So one, definitely do something for you. The second thing, if you want to do something as an act, just a celebration to me in the life that I give, I don't know, that's a good question. I want to say Well, me right now in my current state, I'm gonna always encourage people to make amends or reach out to somebody that they haven't spoke to in a while, friend, family member, whatever the situation is. Because
Hmm.
right now, life is life, and a life is too short. So I encourage people to do that, but it's contradicting because you don't know where people's healing processes is. So it's
I
just kind
feel
of
you.
like so I just say if you can go out and enjoy yourself, whether it's with your significant other, a friend, family, your parents, if you can um collectively bring your family together in some way, shape, or form, I tell y'all to go out, go to a concert, do something. Make sure y'all go to a bar and pregame. Um, make sure y'all have a beautiful in that process and dance. Like, go listen to some live music or a music of your choice and dance. Do something that you normally wouldn't do.
I got you, Z. Now we know we should do something for ourselves and we should have some fun in your
Yeah.
honor. Um, my last question for you in the warm up is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you know yourself?
Okay. I want to say a 10.
Okay.
Also, however, we, well, I can't keep on saying we. I am at a place to where, like, every day I'm evolving, every week I'm evolving. And so, who I thought I knew 2 weeks ago is not who I'm going to know today because I learned something new about myself. So, I want to say it's eight, between 8 and a 10, just because we're constantly evolving, you know?
No, for sure, for sure. I don't think I've since I started this podcast, maybe 1 or 2 people have given me a 10. But I do lean on towards the, like, we do have more to know about ourselves. We can't know ourselves
Yeah,
fully.
most definitely. Most definitely.
Uh, in that sense, when would you say is the last time you were like really surprised, like from yourself, where you're like, oh shit, that's me. Like I like that, or I do that. When's the last time you surprised yourself?
Um, mm, and what aspect? Let's say that. In what aspect do you think, or is just an open range?
Um, I mean, one way you could think about it is maybe a moment where you like was doubting yourself, and then you were like, but you still got through it, or you achieved it, and you're like, damn, I didn't think I could get through this, but I did. That's one way to see it. But yeah, or it could be something you knew you learned that you got really into. I don't know if there's some new hobbies that you start or are interested in getting into, but stuff like that. Yeah.
So the new hobby I'm interested in getting into is definitely creating content,
Mm. You
and
know what
that's
kind yet?
motivational, uplifting, just trying to uplift people, doing what I do best.
I got
um,
you.
so I think it's crazy though, because I'm not gonna lie. I think what I'm most proud of basically is what you asking, right? In a sense,
Um, Go ahead.
I said in a sense, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like what if something that shocked me that like I could really sit with?
for sure. Yeah.
I think it's just my ability to network. Like, um,
Mm,
given my past opportunity with my job with the basketball tournament, it's definitely something that kind of amazed me, simply because oftentimes, I don't know how to put it without putting it. Oftentimes, you're looked at as a person, oh, they can't do that.
mm-hmm.
Right? They can't make that happen. Or in the process of making it happen, every little hiccup or anything that could go wrong goes wrong.
Yeah.
I think that both in my life, my work, and in my business, I do a great thing of networking, just planning as if everything was to fail, and then just securing things. I think that oftentimes I feel like I doubt myself because, in this kind of field and in this line of work, it is very competitive. But I don't let nothing stop me. Even if I hear no, I just be like, all right, go back to the drawing board. Let's do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's definitely something that I kind of wow myself with every time.
I got you. If you do it enough times, see, then I think you gotta start believing in yourself and like,
Oh
I can
yeah,
do
oh
this. I
yeah.
do this all the time.
Yeah, after this last situation, it's just like, all right, bet. Like, Like, it feels good to just see the results, but you have to trust the process. And I've been told that a lot. You got to trust the process.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to trust the process, and
Whew, that is it's crazy. It is. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it
I
is
get it,
something that's crazy.
for sure. All right. Well, let's move on to the next stage of the podcast, which is the icebreaker.
Okay, let's do it.
So you're gonna have 34 seconds to either get through your choice, a word association or this or that. Which one are you feeling?
Can you define what a word of association is, please?
Yeah, word association is like, I give you a word, let's say it's happiness, and then you tell me what's the first thing that comes to mind. You hear happiness. And so you'll have 34 seconds with like as many words as you can do. Or the this or that is, option A or option B kind of thing.
Let's do this or that. I think I've
For
done
sure.
that one before. Let's do this or that.
Okay. And then after 34 seconds, I will touch on, or I'll follow up on a couple of your answers. All right.
All right.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
Underestimated or overestimated?
Underestimated.
Sort by price or by rating?
Rating.
Introvert or extrovert?
Both.
Win a race or win a debate?
Debate.
Growth or security?
Both. Can we pick both?
And then hang out with little kids or with old folks?
Old folks.
Gotcha. All right, that was 34 seconds. Let's start with that last one. Hang out with little kids or with old folks? Why'd you say old folks?
The reason why I say old folks is because, like I said, I opened with life is short. And people fail to realize the more you kick it with your elders, the more you kick it with your elders, the more you just kind of tap into what your elders got to offer, the more game you receive, the more knowledge you get. It's significant for me though, because my whole life, I've been around people my age, but I was always around adults. Elder people always took care of my family. So just those conversations I enjoyed, just to learn their upbringing, to learn the difference of how their time was versus now. A lot of people fail to realize our elders got a lot of game when it comes to finances, financial literacy. Those that accessed it, not everybody was able to access that. Recipes, family gems, those type of things. I think as they get older, as we get older, these are gems that we could pass on through generations. Kids, they got gems and can teach you game too, but I just feel like, I don't want to say they got more time on this earth, but you just, with your elders, they just hold a huge significance, just as much as the little ones do as well.
No, I got you. Yeah. I was going to say when I was a kid, I used to always want to hang out with the old folks.
Right.
Maybe it's just, being a kid and you want to hang out with older folks.
I think we just got some old souls, Jen. I ain't gonna lie.
Possibly, Z. And, I think this is something I always kind of one of the connections I have with folks is the only child thing. So when there's a whole different way of growing up when you're by yourself, really. And it's different. You see things in a different lens sometimes. And then I asked you about growth or security and you said both.
Yes.
Why both?
Because I think that I know for myself, I wasn't taught a lot of things. I either taught myself or I would learn by trial and error. But as I learn, as I make the mistakes or just go through the things that I go through, there's growth within that, which then at some point, if there was a mistake made or something learned early on, you then begin to build that security. So I just feel like growth and security go hand in hand, because you're learning what not to do, what can you do, or most importantly, what you want to do, and is it going to benefit you in the most aspect.
I got you. I will say for myself, I've definitely been choosing, I think, growth more than security. I'm very I only got one shot at this thing, so I'm gonna put everything I got into it, even though, the thoughts of oh, is your future secure though? Or if if you have a family, are they going to be good? And it is like, it's a sacrifice. It's like this changing of my mentality, but I think a part of me still doesn't want to let go. Like I still want, I'm still choosing growth over security. And, I don't know at what point in my life where that's going to be like, I have to choose one or the other. So that's going to be an interesting decision when it comes down to it.
True. But if you really think about it, even if you are in a situation to where like you choosing growth over security, that growth then secures whatever it is you're trying to grow through, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, but in my mind, it's like it'll happen if it works out, right? I think when I talk about growth, there's so much like uncertainty. Like, I've been talking about growing for a long time, and it's been more than a decade now, and I'm just like, it feels like I'm the same, even though other people's perspective could be like, oh, nah, you have grown because of X, Y, and Z. But yeah, for me, it's essentially, actually, I don't know if you like that title of your content creation channel or whatever, X, Y, and Z. That'd be kind of dope. I'm just saying.
That's tight. It's definitely gonna move in the motion of securing true to myself in the brand, but that could be definitely talking points or like a spinoff. I like that.
Just think about it. When I said it, I was like, that's perfect for you. But
wait, repeat it. It's X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, X, Y, and Z. It's like for you, it'd be like this or that, and with me, with Z, so kind of thing. Like that. Yeah, X, Y, and Z.
I'll tell my sister that.
I know. And then you said underestimated or overestimated. You said underestimated, right?
Yes, I like to be underestimated.
Yeah, why did underestimated come up for you?
I think I chose underestimated simply because oftentimes people do doubt me a lot, and I get it. I got a lot going on, but if I know that I got it and I got me and I got whatever it is that I'm obligated to, if that makes sense, cool. I could show you better than I could tell you. So I would always choose to be underestimated than to be estimated, because now you are not saying that it's a bad thing, but if people over expect per se, now you got to reach this level that it's like, whoa, wait a minute, whereas if people underestimate you, it gives you room to reach that level without them putting that pressure on you, if that makes sense. It's more of a motivational pressure versus a stressful pressure, if that makes sense.
No, I definitely understand you. I feel like, I get anxious if people like think more of what I think of myself. And I feel like that happens a lot sometimes. Like I had maybe a year ago, I had a talk with an uncle. He's really old, and I wasn't expecting this. It was me, my parents, and my girl with him, and all of a sudden he's like, and I think he was doing this just to boost me up in front of my girl, like, just giving me some good feedback. He's all like, I always thought that you were the kind of person who would like figure it out, or like who would make it out or whatever. And I'm like, damn, like, yeah, I believed in that myself, but now that my uncle told me, I'm like, fuck. So it kind of seems like maybe some other people believe that too. It makes me feel good, but does also make me feel like, what if I don't live up to that? What if I don't figure it out? What if, did I prove my uncle wrong, or am I gonna make him look stupid because he believes in me? So yeah, that's definitely the bad thing about being overestimated, I think.
True. It's like a catch-22, gifts and a curse.
Yeah.
Just because like I ask people that all the time. Like, people be like, oh, like, bro, like, you really make shit happen, or make stuff happen. I don't know if you could cuss on here.
You can.
You make a lot of things happen. You network, the way that you move and make things happen. Like, like it's so many other, like it's not too many females that's doing the same thing that I do, but I'm not taking away, I just probably haven't came across them yet. But when people tell me, like similar how your uncle said, like you the one that was always supposed to make it, like when people tell me that, it's just kind of like, damn, like that's what you see, like damn, I want to see what you see, you know. But it goes back into just trusting the process and having that reassurance within yourself. I feel like, forget people having it for you. Do you have it within yourself? If you don't have it within yourself, what are we doing, right?
Yeah.
And so just being open-minded to that. You're carrying a light, you're carrying something that you know, an elder has seen in you, like you were the one, you know. So definitely sit with that.
It I'm gonna continue sitting with it until maybe I'm always like, let me do it first before we talk about it. I don't want to talk about it before anything gets done yet. But yeah, no, I hear you. All right, well, let's move on to the next portion of the podcast, which is the Wheel of Fate. Here we go. So I'm gonna give the wheel a spin, Z, and just a reminder, if there's any question that's too personal, too deep, something you don't want to talk about, feel free to pass. All right.
Let's do it. We could challenge myself to step out of my box.
I got you. So right now, I'm gonna give you a choice because the wheel is exactly between 17 and 16. So which one would you like, 17 or 16?
17 or 16. That's a good question. Let's go with 17, just because my birthday on February 17th. So
Gotcha.
we could go on 17.
This one is there anything you'd like to get off your chest? Maybe something. Like I said, if it's too personal, too deep, you could pass. But also, you know me. You know, you could talk to me about stuff, and I'm not judgment.
Oh, that's a good one. Is there anything I can get off my chest? I don't think it's anything that I need to get off my chest, because like I said, these past few weeks I've been in different phases of myself, if that makes sense. And so I think if I can get something off of my chest, it would be for people to know to be patient with me. And understand that I'm not asking for anybody's pity party or anything of that nature. I don't want anybody to ever feel sorry for me, but to know that I show up in many different places, and I carry a lot of things. But if I show up and I show out, don't dim my light. I think that even if you did dim my light, you can't stop it. You know, you can't stop it. Yeah, I think that that's really it. I think that people should be more open to what I have to offer as a friend, as a person, as a business person. And no, I'm not in competition with you. You know, what's for me will always be for me. You know, that's just really it. I'm not in competition with nobody. And if people are open to it, people can learn from me as much as I can learn from them. But I'm not here to compete with nobody. I'm not here to throw nobody under the bus. I'm really a genuine person. I think most importantly, if I had to get anything off of my chest, I am a genuine person. So don't fold on me. I won't fold on you. Don't backdoor me. You know, like I'm not one of them. I really do right by people in real life, and so I just expect that in return. But can't put my expectation on others. So.
No, I got you. I mean, I will say, Z, one of the things I admire about you the most is how you are true to myself or true to yourself. And that, you know, the phrase, you know, unapologetically me, I think comes to mind every once in a while. I feel like I'm very apologetic about myself. Like, and you know me, so I'm always like, oh, my bad, or I'm sorry, or like, it's good. It's tough. It's tough for me. So let me ask you, like, one, you feel like you were always like kind of like that, or you had to learn it or be nurtured into it? Someone had to give you game to be unapologetically yourself.
Unapologetically me. I think that my structure and upbringing has been the reason why I'm able to be me unapologetically. Again, I had to raise myself since the age of 5, and so I've been through a lot of more life experiences, but I just felt like being raised in the households that I was raised up, being Black, Mexican, and Sicilian, I had no choice but to be unapologetically me, whether it was in a household, whether it was in a school, a classroom. I think that I've always been looked at as a person that just, I don't know, was just out there, like just hella uncontrollable. And so it was like, I'm gonna be me regardless. Like, you're not gonna stop anything. And then, sometimes things humble me to where it's like I can be me, but do I have to show up in that aspect? Like, can I show up another way? Or if I want to be me, like, don't cause attention to yourself. Stepping into the second half of the year right now, I'm moving a lot different. Things are changing, and so I'm gonna still be me unapologetically. You just won't hear it, you won't see it. Now, if you ask about it, I might enlighten you. We might talk about it, but nope. I just feel like I am who I am, and I've worked hard to be who I am, and I'm working even harder to get to become the better version of me and who I want to be, again, unapologetically. I don't owe nobody nothing. I don't owe nobody explanation. None of that.
No, I got you. And I think that's where the difference is, right? Like my upbringing was very like, I had to be a good kid. I had to be, it sucks for me to say this now because, when I was a kid, I was like, no, this is what the right thing is supposed to be. But I was very like conformist. I don't know if you know what that means. Basically, like I followed the rules and tried not to get in trouble and all that stuff, which I honestly really regret now that I look back at my childhood. I'm like, that was the time to make a lot of mistakes, but I waited until adulthood to get to that point. And so now it kind of bit me in the ass, but
not at all. I think sometimes you gotta live by the rules, and then sometimes you gotta live a little, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I think I've gotten better at that as I've grown older. It's just more so for me now. It's like, I'm not trying to fight it, but I'm trying to grow from it as far as like, okay, this is who I am, and I want to make sure that people like understand that picture fully, which I think for me, the closer I get to that, I think the closer I'll be to my goals at some point.
It will happen.
But I got you, Z, and thank you for opening up. I know it's not always easy to talk about these things.
That's why I like your podcast. That's what's significant about your podcast, is definitely just stepping out of your box, challenging yourself, having conversations and discussions about things we normally don't talk to on a day-to-day. So I appreciate that.
No, for sure. And it takes two to tango. You got to be open to be talking about this stuff too. So I appreciate it. All right, Z, your next number is number 30.
30, right. Let's go.
Now, this one is, what's the last lie you told yourself?
The last lie I told myself. The last lie I told myself was, damn. Okay. I think the last lie I told myself was, I'm gonna work out and go to the gym.
But you were though, right? Like,
I was, but I haven't in a while. Just because it's hard as far as like timing. Cut it out.
No, for sure.
It's hard because of timing, and so for me, it's just more so like, damn, like if I tell myself I'm gonna go, then eventually I'm gonna really go, but I don't get there. But it's crazy because when I get off of this interview, I'm gonna go ahead and try to do some type of workout.
For sure. Look, when it comes to fitness and stuff, I think like what's helped me, because when I was younger, I used to go like way crazier in the gym. But now that as I'm getting older, like I've definitely cut back, and I feel like one, that was a big ego hit, and it really humbled myself. Like, I'm not
Right.
young anymore, but also like I have to be realistic with, you know, the time I give to working
Mhm.
out. So for you, like, I don't know how much time you want to dedicate in the gym, but
I need
be,
like 2
yeah.
hours, 2, 3 times a day.
Ah, that's what I'm saying though. Like, be comfortable with 20 minutes if you can a
Right.
day, right?
Mhm.
I think getting that routine of like, okay, I'm gonna show up for 20 minutes and then bounce. Like, eventually you're gonna be like, fuck it, I'm gonna stay for 30 minutes. Fuck it, I'm gonna stay for 40.
Right.
But try not to get to a point where you burn out, like, because that happens to me too. Especially like, I hate running, and like when I try to run, it'll be like, you know, oh, maybe I'll run for like an hour, but if I run for an hour, I'm not going to want to run the next week. You know, it's like, let me just run for
Mhm.
10 minutes and maybe I could run 10 minutes again tomorrow. um,
Right.
that's something I've been thinking about for sure. um, and I mean, what's the thing, you ever heard that saying, and this is true for mothers as I believe as well, but when, since there's like a dad bod, and like, you know, dads don't really take care of themselves no more. If you
Mhm.
see a dad that's in shape, they say that's a bad father, because they're spending more time in the gym than being with their kids. Or like, so
Right.
in my mind, it's like, maybe, you know, for all the folks out there struggling to get in the gym, is that, you know, your life is just dedicated to so many other things that it's hard to take that time for yourself. um,
Right.
so it does make me think about that. Like, I know for me, like going to the gym every day, that's, you know, some time every day that I tell everybody else like, nah, I'm not available. Which could be a good and bad thing, you know. And for the people who don't like that stuff, I'm like telling them like, yo, I'm not, you know, ready to rock with you right now. I gotta do my own thing. um so I think, you know, you'll find your way. Like, what do you think sticks for you though? Like, is it going to the gym by yourself, having someone to go with you,
I just
following a
like
program?
I
Yeah.
just I just like somebody with me.
Mm.
Like, I think that when you have somebody that could motivate you, like when you slacking or you not doing it all the way, or you get that last rep and it's just too much, like,
Hmm.
uh, you
Have
know,
you tried those videos? Like,
which
um,
one?
well, you know, there's the Nike ones are free.
Oh yeah, I
So
do
like, yeah,
those. I
yeah.
do those, and then I have a workout chat that I do.
Mm.
So we go ahead and lock in with different exercises. So I have one that I have to challenge myself with today.
Do you have an Apple Watch? I forgot if you
I
do or not.
do. I just don't use it, and I just got done telling Ashley, like, bro, I need to start using my Apple Watch.
Yeah, I don't know if you could figure it out, but there's like that way you could connect it with other friends as like workouts. So that when
I
they work out, it tells you like, oh, so and so just did a workout, and then it's like, it makes you want to be like, oh, well, fuck that, I'm gonna do it too.
Right.
But yeah, there's different ways to find motivation. But you know, Z, like you said, you want people to have patience with you. Have patience for yourself. Like, I
That
think
I forget to have that definitely.
that's tough. It is hard, Z. Like, um, and you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I feel like I'm disappointed in myself, when I look in the mirror and I'm like, fuck, like I need to do something about this. It's
Right.
it's hard. It is hard.
Mhm.
Um,
Yes, it-
but I got you, Z. All right, let me give the wheel another spin. Oh, that's not the wheel. Um, your next number is number 9,
Okay.
and the question is, what makes you feel alone?
What makes me feel alone? Um, that is a very good question. What makes me feel um alone? Hmm. That's good. That's a hard one. I think what makes me feel alone is when you feel like you need people the most, if that
Mm.
makes sense. Um, I'm not worried too much about like being alone, um, but just feeling like you don't have nobody to turn to, or feeling like, damn, I could really use some upliftment. But then you get reminded, though, So when you feel alone, know that somebody's always there.
No, I got you. I think for me, it's definitely like when I expect people to be there, or expect, like, you know, that a certain way of support, um,
Exactly.
and they're not there, or like they're busy. That definitely makes me feel alone. That makes me feel like damn, if not you, then who? Like, or if
No, for real. That'd be my question all the time. Like, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, if not you, then who? That's
right.
um. How do you combat that then? If you are
Um,
feeling alone, what's something that you try to do?
so so people will, well, I notice, and people will notice that I isolate myself a lot.
Mm,
Um, I won't be as visible. Probably won't hear from me. Especially if I'm on social media all the time, and then I shut down. I'm quiet. I do know that in the last few weeks there has been something that people would be like, "Hey, I noticed that you were quiet. You good?"
mm,
And so I think my manager has been doing a great job of ensuring that I'm not alone, and understanding that if and when I feel like I am, I do have somebody that I can vent to. I do have somebody that I can go ahead and just, if I need upliftment or that motivation to continue to push forward, I have a few people that reminded me recently of where I can go and who I can talk to.
I got you. I was gonna say, Z, for you, what is something that, like, what's a sign that I should ask you, like, you good, or like just check in with you? What's like a sign?
I don't know, because how I'm gonna move going into the rest of the year is gonna be very from a space that is more to myself.
Hmm.
Um, and like I said, I show up on a daily in all spaces. So if I'm if you probably wouldn't know. Like, I'm trying to do better at not wearing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
So if I would say, if you had to pay attention to something, maybe my vibe, excuse me, maybe my vibe, if my
hmm,
vibe is a little off and I'm not my jolly self, like, you would see it. I think you've actually unintentionally done it a few times where, AZ,
yeah.
you would, and I'll let you know, like, nah, I'm not feeling it, and this is why, so
I got you, and I feel
my
like
vibe, my energy, you'll feel my hair, oh my God, you'll feel my energy, you will feel my energy.
for sure. I'll just make sure to be aware as possible. Um, I know
And
for.
don't feel obligated though,
Oh, no,
because
no,
what
no. Yeah.
I'm learning is not everybody can carry what you carry. I think that oftentimes we try to, hey, just even a simple check-in, are you good? Sometimes even asking that can be heavy for others. So if you have the capacity to do so.
Nah, for sure. I think this is a question I want to ask everybody on the team,
Mhm.
because I think we do have those days and those moments when, like, it's rough. And I feel like you guys do that for me, when you guys see me kind of just like all over the place and kind of like always on the move. I just know for me, I think I respond better if I'm asked, like, how was your day, or how are you, like at the end of the day, like maybe
Yeah.
in the moment when someone's like, "Jan, you good?" I'll be like, "Yes, it's all good," and I'll keep moving. But like for me, it's like, okay, when everything's winding down, you ask me that same question, I might be a little more open, like telling you what was stressing me out or what I was going through. uh,
Like seeing if we can do like a checkout or a meeting or something at the end of the day, like that'd be dope. Just so that everybody can, I think when people can do that, people will flow better. People will have better understanding on a lot of things instead of just assuming.
I mean, that would be crazy if we could do that. It'd be something to figure out, but I think we try to very informally, right? Like, I feel like at the end of the day, at work especially, we definitely ask each other stuff while we're walking to our cars. um
Yeah. Oh
but
yeah.
but no, I got you. When it's needed, I think we'll definitely check in or check out, I say.
Definitely.
um
Definitely.
all right, Z, let's move on to the closeout questions. But before we do that, there's one part that I would like you to participate in, which is called the 34th mantra. All right.
Okay.
You know what a mantra is? You heard it before?
It's like a form of affirmation, right?
Yes, it is. So the phrase you're going to be thinking about is I am, I can, I will. So I am blank, I can blank, I will blank. All right. So what I need you to do though, I need you to close your eyes for a second. All right. Don't worry, it'll be very brief, and I'll let you open your eyes in a second. But
Okay.
I want you to imagine that you are in the forest. You're just amongst the trees, and you just want to yell this phrase out, this mantra out. So, I am blank, I can blank, I will blank. Whenever you're ready, feel free to open your eyes and let it rip.
So I am me unapologetically. Most importantly, I can do all things. All things are possible. Just gotta trust the process.
Sure.
And I will promise myself to put me first. I have to fill my cup before I can fill others, and I cannot feel guilty or bad about it.
I got you, Z. If you ever need a reminder, now you got this little snippet of yourself.
Right.
Telling you who you are, what you can do, and what you will do. All right, Z. Closeout question. My first one for you is actually from my previous guest. So shout out to Bonnie Rose. Bonnie's question for you is, if you could choose one tree to be, which one would it be? Like, which tree in nature is one that you just like either really appreciate, gravitate towards, or
I don't
is
know.
for you?
I don't know no tree names. But it's 3 trees, I think. What is
don't
the
worry,
most?
I could only think of 3 trees too. So
What's
those
the
3 trees.
popular one?
Okay, so for I chose
It's
redwood.
like yeah. So a redwood tree.
Redwood,
That's
oak
like
tree.
the one, right?
Yeah, redwood is like the big one in the national park that
Yeah.
like you could but yeah, so that's redwood.
I'll do those, and then the one that has the bark of healing, to where if you like scrape it, cut it, carve something into it, it heals itself.
Oh, I did not know about that one.
Yeah, I'll send it to you when we get off. I'm gonna find it and send it to you.
We'll
And
call it. Yeah, go ahead.
The third one, I don't know if it's a tree, but a cherry blossom tree. I think that just because it's like the colors, you get what I'm saying. It blossoms, I believe, a certain part of the year.
Yeah.
But when it blossoms, like the process from it growing and then blossoming, it seems like it's very pretty scenery.
That's what's up. You did way better than I did with that question. I was, I think I said redwood just because that was the first one that came to mind. I thought about Christmas tree, which I know is a specific one, and then I was like, the other kind of tree. But it was just, I think cherry blossoms is something I didn't think about, but you're right, and we have those in SF too for the festival. But yeah, for sure, I got you, Z. And then my second to last question for you is, what would you like to ask the next guest on 34 Questions?
I don't know. You know me. Something about entrepreneurship, being a boss. When was the last time you challenged yourself to boss your life up in whatever aspect? Entrepreneurship, savings plan, financially. Did you secure your life insurance? Stuff like that.
I got you.
You challenge yourself to boss your life up, or have you created residual income? Who knows? How are you doing the cycle? Those are the combination of everything.
I got you. I do like to answer the second to last question as well.
Yeah.
So I think last time I talked to you about Hella Hungry, it was about like, I had tax issues about like putting myself under employment and all that stuff, right?
Right.
So recently, I think I was challenged to like really take care of it, because I had spent money on a scam that was gonna help me fix those tax issues, which they never did. I spent $2K on that when I thought my debt with the IRS was like about $13K or something like that. So I'm like, cool, I'll spend $2K instead of 13, get this fixed. Never happened. It was like 2 years ago. And then now, just last week, I think definitely actually it was because of my mom. She was like, you gotta fix this shit, because like we haven't heard nothing going on with it and you have debt. So I'm like, okay, let me give him a call. So I called him, and it was so easy. And like I just had to tell them what my situation was, and they're like, oh yeah, like you should just check this box off on the EDD site or whatever, and like you don't have to owe anything. And I'm all like I was like, what? And I'm like, it was a lot of fear and anxiety for myself when I get those letters from the IRS saying,
man,
this is what you owe. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, let me pay somebody else to take care of it, which was like, they took advantage of me.
Let me talk about that conversation, because
yeah. So I'm just saying, like, the last time I challenged myself to boss up was probably that moment of like, yo, I need to make this call. And it did get to a point where like, I don't know if you ever get this feeling, but when I procrastinate, like I know it's really not time anymore if that's the only thing I could think of. And like, I couldn't just relax without being like, I need to make this phone call like right now. So yeah, for anyone out there who is like fearing the IRS, just make that phone call. Like, they're not going to put you in jail right away or try to take your money right away. But what's great about it is it makes me feel like I hit a reset button on the whole hella hungry thing. And I feel more empowered to like figure it out again. And I asked them like, yo, if I wanted to do this again, what do I need to do? And like, oh yeah, you just click this other thing on the website and then you're back on. I'm all like, so fucking easy.
But
yeah.
let me know.
What's that?
I said, you have to let me know.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, are you like familiar with the EDD website and stuff? Yeah. See, it's intimidating. But I think it's just because we don't know what it is, and once we learn it, it's like that's what makes it a lot easier. But I hear you. All right, Z. My last question for you. Question that ties everything together. 100, 200, 300 years from now, our descendants are watching this video. What would you like to tell them?
Future descendants. It's your girl Zenaida from True to Myself. But most importantly, a lineage to you. Know that in life, I did break generational cycles with hopes to continue that and to change the narrative, and know that everything I did, do, and continue to do is in your name. I think we got to walk by faith and not by sight, and that the past descendants, the current ones, the future ones, y'all with me every step of the way. I feel it. And so, yeah. And no, I love y'all. Love is real. If y'all could do anything, build your circle, your surroundings off love. Love always wins.
I got you, Z. They hear you. I hear you. Any last things you'd like to add before we head out of here? Any plugs, for all the stuff you're working on, if you want to?
Any plugs? If anybody is interested in booking a motivational speaker, workshop facilitator, life coach, definitely reach out. Touch bases with me. I do a lot of work in the community and with my people, especially if you guys got connected through this interview. Reach out to me, talk to me, I'll talk back. I like to work with my people, not against them. And so, yeah, y'all see me, say hi. I'm always interested in meeting new people, making new friends, making new business acquaintances and stuff like that. So, yeah, if y'all see me on the streets and y'all be like, oh my God, I seen your interview, tap all the way in. It's your girl.
Right on, Z. I want to thank you again for coming by, talking with me for an hour and just being open to this.
I'm glad we finally did it because y'all don't understand. Time's just never on my side.
Nah.
I've been in the house. I've been in the house for like 2-3 weeks. Like sit down. So definitely.
I'm glad. You know, it is our pseudo break right now, so I'm glad we were able to make time for it specifically this week, and
Right.
specifically
Next week I'm going to Puerto Rico.
Yo, in person in Puerto Rico, staff trip. That'd be crazy.
Oh wait, on a staff trip?
No, I'm speaking it into existence. Like if I say we going to Puerto Rico on a staff trip, maybe we'll go to Puerto Rico on a staff trip.
Right, that part.
Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows? But yeah. So thank you again, Z, and I want to thank all the folks out there. If you listening on Spotify, watching on YouTube, or listening on Apple Podcasts too, thank you for your time as well. Remember to you got one more thing to add, or are you good?
Oh no. I just was yes.
I got you. Remember to reach out, reach forward. As always, much love, and we'll catch you guys next time on 34 Questions. Peace.